Hello viewers, Power here to review the Power Rangers Dino Fury basic wave 1 of basic figures. They don't have a subline like Bandai, so they're the basic $10 figures. So this time around we have 4 figures to deal with. We have I want to call them by the full names. We have the Red Ranger, Blue Ranger, and Pink Ranger, our first trio of Rangers. Then we have our villain, Boomtower. So, as I collapse all this and take a look at them individually, if they actually want to cooperate. Nope. Here we have the packaging for the basic figures for Dino Fury. They're very similar towards the Beast Morpher ones. As we can see the new background and such. Here we have everything that includes Power Rangers key included, which is the Dino Fury key. Obviously the name, age, Hasbro. Here we have art of the Red Ranger, the logo, and the back, which is fairly basic. They don't even have a lineup anymore and just use with the Dino Fury Morpher. This is weird for mine, but my Dino Fury Red has some, like, he's sticky in the back, which is weird. Also, you just have, like, the name of the Ranger, or the name of the character in multiple languages. And they actually have 2 plastic flaps, so it's actually easier to open these up now. Here we have the Blue Ranger. This is the last one I needed. He has a warning. He's the only one that has a warning, probably because of his accessories. Here's art of him. And then here's the back. Mine came in crushed, but it's honestly not as bad. Because when we look at the Pink Ranger, yeah, she's fine. It's just that despite her coming in a box, mine came in wrecked. So I don't know what happened with that. And last but not least, our only villain, Boomtower. And yes, he comes with a key, but even his box is kind of like dented. But yeah, that's essentially it for these. So let me open them up within an entirely different video that you most likely saw already. And let me charge the battery. So here we have the figures out. Obviously we're going to just go through lineup order, so we'll put these 3 out of the way and take a look at Dino Fury Red. And I'm kind of like, these aren't bad design-wise, but they just feel off. Something just feels completely off with these figures, and I don't know what it is. Like, the helmets I think are fine. But, like, obviously the biggest thing they're missing is just the white in the neck. Because ever since Season 2 of Beast Morphers, they just stopped giving the figures full paint. But, like, other than that, like, I think for the majority of the, like, details, they're there. It's just the neck isn't. Then here's the buckle, which I feel like they kind of really skimped on, because it's not, I don't think it's really as detailed. Like, how am I supposed to tell if that's supposed to be the, like, I don't know. I think it's just because they flattened it, so it just looks really off. And then the Dino Fury Morpher. Oh, this thing I have not seen anyone mention. So, because I was like noticing like what exactly is wrong with it, and what they did, which boggles me, is that they literally just gave all the Rangers this. They didn't bother including the keys at all. They probably didn't want to remold them. They probably didn't want to mold them with their keys. So they're like, we're just gonna have the Rangers with an empty Dino Fury morpher, and it's just like, what? So that's weird. Oh, but other than that, like he's fine. Articulation is the same as the Beast Morphers figures, so we got a ball joint right here, as you can see, so he can bobble his head. And you can rotate his arms all the way through. He has a bicep swivel. I don't know what's up with the arms. They're kind of like on ratchets or notches, but I don't. This is like, I don't know if it's supposed to happen. Or like, see, because I'm already like ripping plastic. So I don't know what that's up, or what's up with that. Kick forward. Can't kick back. Kick to the side. Then it does this thing, and then you can bend and then swivel the boot. And yeah, for quick comparison, here is Beast Morphers Red, the only figure I always bring out for comparisons, and as you can see, they're the same height-wise and such, but I don't know, the Beast Morphers figures I didn't ever feel were off at all. I think it's honestly just because of the texture of these, to be honest. Because obviously they're dealing with spandex suits. Unlike here, they're leather, so they have some texture to them, and it makes them feel unique. And I think also it's just because Beast Morphers, they had this like skirt jacket here, so it hid the joints a lot better. And as you can see from like, and honestly, like just the one thing that's just makes, I guess, Beast Morphers a lot better is that these were just handled a lot more better because, you know, these had the paint they needed and such. So, like, obviously, like, the major complaint is just they don't have the neck paint, but other than that, it's like they're presentable because for some reason the figures are still presented with no necks. But yeah. Speaking of, well, not speaking of, but accessories, because you know, you want to know about accessories. Well, get ready to be disappointed as I try to actually center this. He comes with this random sword. I I don't know. It looks honestly really generic, but he doesn't come with his Chroma Fury saber. He just comes with this generic. I'm just gonna call it the T-Rex Champion saber. So he just comes with this generic sword, and I don't like it. It's too generic for my liking. But so yeah, there's Zeta with his generic sword, and then obviously his Dino Fury key. As you can see from here and such. I will take a more closer look to all their Dino Fury keys, but I just want to note that it comes with it. So that's it for Zato. Next up, Blue. He's essentially the same articulation wise and such. He's just now in blue. Blue. Blue's biggest issue is his head. So for some reason, Hasbro overpainted his head. So now his entire top of his head, gosh, it's entirely silver, which is just like, what? So you can underpaint you can underpaint certain sections, but you overpaint. Like, so you will not apply paint to some sections, but you will overpaint unnecessary sections. What the heck? Because if that wasn't the case, I think this figure would have been my favorite, if I had to be honest. Because I think just having these figures, if I had to be honest, is actually kind of making me appreciate these suits a lot more. Because I didn't really have an opinion on them beforehand. But Blue's buckle is actually centered, unlike Red's. Red's, for some reason, was like off. But obviously, Dino Fury key. And then his weapons are interesting. You get the Tricera. You get Tricera size, which I'm just gonna call him the. I don't remember what his Zord called, the Tricera Blade Zord, so I'm just going to call them the Tricera Blade size. So just simply lock them in like so. I don't know why he has size, but he just does. So there goes Blue with his size. And Blue is the only one I actually have issues standing. But there. That should work. Okay. Next up, here we have Pink, to which her helmet looks kind of off. Again, I think it's probably just because it's my first time actually having this design in person, or like actually having it, like actually having a closer look at it. Her visor just looks like it's protruding too much, but or like squished. Other than that, it's fine. Her articulation's all the same too, and I didn't bring out Beast Morpher's yellow, but she has the same like thing where she has this slit on the side of the skirt, so then she do kicks and such. So, and she doesn't have arm issues unlike the guys, so I don't know what's up with that. One thing I do want to bring out though is that Pink actually does have more painted silver on her buckle, unlike the guys, which just boggles me because, like, just putting them next to each other, you can tell Pink has her buckle painted, unlike the guys. So it's just like, so it's just weird. However, it makes me happy that we at least have two figures that will have painted buckles. Thank you, Green. So, Dino Fury key and the Ankylo hammer mace. Yeah, these don't make sense because it's. Why didn't they just make the weapons based off of the Zords? Why did they just give them random weapons? Like, the Ankylo has a hammer. Why didn't you just give her a hammer? Instead, you gave her a mace. But there is Amelia with her mace, because I forgot to mention Ollie. I'm sorry. Now she doesn't want to stand. But last but not least, we have Boomtower, and he's easily the weakest villain figure we've gotten, like in general, within Hasbro's line. Like, man. Okay, for some reason, like, first of all, like, they put stickers here, and they just, this is the same exact stickers they had for the Dino Fury keys, so it just makes it more lazier. Because it's just like, can you just please remove the foil? Like, you didn't need the foil. I would have been fine with the stickers if they weren't foil. And it's just, yeah, he's missing a bunch of color, but it's like, these are $10 figures, so you have to excuse some of that, but like, I think the thing they should have at least put some paint on is his face. Because it's just like, he has a lot more color on his face, but then like, all the yellow on his face is just gone, so his face gets washed out and such. And then with this figure in particular, he actually, like, in the unboxing, like, I struggled with, like, rotating his head, but you really have to, like, move it. But, like, once you do, then you're actually able to move his head. But he has the same villain articulation of, like, just, well, okay, he can't even, well, yeah, he can, but you're just gonna risk scratching the paint here. For some reason, I can actually do this to his right arm. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to, if I can't do it with this arm. His arms are angled, so he can swivel like so. He can kick forward. These are kind of like in a notch. He can like swerve like so. So obviously he can't do the leg split and such, but honestly it's just like, the way how he is, I don't mind. Again, I don't mind the lack of articulation with the villains, just because typically, at least with Beast Morphers, they actually gave them more paint because of that. But then they didn't give him enough paint on the face. And then his one and only weapon, which, for obvious reasons, he's the only figure to actually come with his weapon. So just put it in like so. So there's Boomtower, which he just debuted last week. But so there's Boomtower with his weapon, and in a surprising twist, he actually has a Dino Fury key. So woohoo! Let's look at these, by the way. So again, I'm taking a closer look at the Dino Fury keys. So this is the red Dino Fury key that's included with the Red Ranger. Obviously, this is the back of it. And then here we have the head for the Dino Fury Megazord, or the T-Rex Champion Zord Battle Mode. Is that what it's called? But essentially the Dino Fury Megazord. I think the head sculpts on here are actually pretty neat. For like the little paint they have, they do their best of making them stand out, because obviously you're going to be able to use these with the Zords, which I'm not picking up because I don't care for the Zords. And they, again, like, they did a good job of painting this. If only I could flip. Speaking of flipping, here's the front sticker, hollow sticker for the Dino Fury key, which they took the liberty of actually adding more color to these, which makes it look weird. But I do appreciate that, you know, they try to at least keep it similar to the original. So, yeah. Next up, blue. So then we have the Megazord face. Again, pretty well done. Oh, I forgot to mention, here's his pin. The middle button, and then this one's the right button. And when we flip it, this is where the horror happens. So I don't know what's up with the blue. So for some reason, they have this placeholder background, which is the background for the packaging. I don't understand why they didn't fill it in black. And also the thing that infuriates me too is that blue's weapon is supposed to align with this, but it doesn't. This is a bit higher than where this is. So it's just like, why? Why did you even bother with it then? Because now it just ruins the illusion of these connecting. Because you can tell part of his weapon is now cut off because it's not connected here. And also, like, just why is this part not filled in black? Why? This one was my favorite, and now they keep ruining my favorite figure out of the wave. obviously he has his symbol there and such. Whoops. So here we have Pink, which I think she got shafted the most out of the keys because she's supposed to have black to fill in for her visor, and it sucks it's not there. I think the Megazord version will have it, but I think it's because they're just trying to stick with 2 colors per a key, and because, you know, black is a 3rd color for her, they probably didn't want to add that because this is the only blue they have for her. And I think this might have been an error, but there's a blue dot on mine. There's her pin, so she pushes the first 2 pins. Her Dino Fury key, hers, like red, is fine. And obviously, here's her hammer. Yeah. Last but not least, we have a new original key, Boomtowers, or Tank Joe's. And I really like what they did with what they're doing with these keys. It just sucks that they're not really, you know, functional. Like, even this thing they bothered to remold. Like, look, he has the rook head now. And the Boomtower still doesn't have the paint he needs, but what are you gonna do? And this thing also infuriates me, because he has the same issues as Blue, because okay, so he's holding his weapon. Oh, okay, first of all, for some reason, they didn't fill the space out with black. Second of all, his weapon, he's just holding his default weapon, but because it doesn't follow the scheme, yet again, part of his weapon gets cut off. Why do you even bother? However, I do like that the shield actually does have his symbol, so this half is neat. It's just the weapon side is infuriating. And then, got like some filler plastic in there. And his pin set consists of the 1st and 3rd pins. And the track here, they actually bothered to change because so far we got 3 types of designs, which is actually pretty interesting. So let's take them to the Dino Fury Morpher. Here we go with the Dino Fury Morpher, activate it like normal, just like so. And now we'll start with the red. So insert it like so. As you can hear, there's like fire initiating, and again we have about like 4 to 5 sounds. So with the light. Then heavy. That's not heavy. And transformation. So there, again, new entire jingle for Red. And obviously with this now, you have an accurate looking, I don't know, it still doesn't look accurate. The foil sticker, like, it's like cool, I have an accurate looking, like, transformed look, but the sticker really is distracting. And now we'll do that again, but with the motion sounds. That wasn't all of them, and I apologize for that, but whoop. Now, blue. That sound just sounds pretty normal, to be honest, but obviously you'll see what it is as we go through the sounds. So essentially you get a lot of reverbs and a lot of wavy sounds because this is, well, I'll get to it later. And transformation. I still appreciate how these align and such. But motion sounds? I really do like how the motion sounds do overlap when this finishes, so that it just doesn't cut off and such. Next up, pink. I want to say you get like airy sounds. Then obviously you get like heavy ground slams. That's the second time that happened. Why does that always happen to me with pink? There's her jingles. I think hers, as of now, is probably my favorite. Just hers is really interesting, but obviously with sounds, with the motion. Okay, look. Great. Luckily the camera overheated when that finished. But I'm just gonna have to continue. But last but not least, great. Last but not least, Boomtower. To all your guys' disappointment, because I don't know why people are like so like disgusted about this, but. And transformation. So despite just being based off like, you know, Stink, it has a really interesting jingle and it's like very upbeat and such. Obviously with the sounds. But yeah, that's essentially it for the Dino Fury Morpher. So let's just get everyone together. So are all my thoughts on the basic wave 1 of the Dino Fury basic figures is that I think they're alright at best. They're at least a lot better than the Beast Morphers, like Season 2 of Beast Morphers, because I felt like that was atrocious. But like at the same time, like they still bring in the inequalities from that to here. Like, yeah, we just have, like, at least here, We just don't have painted necks. And like I understand everyone's like valid complaint of them not coming with the Chroma Fury sabers. But I feel like that's where the Dino Fury key thing I said in the Dino Fury Morpher review comes in. Because I feel like the reason why essentially that they're not giving us that is just because they're gonna say to us, oh, it's because the Dino Fury key takes up a bunch of plastic and we can't supply it, which is just stupid because again, they gave us the Beast Morphers figures that gave us 3 accessories. So like it gave us 2 accessories for the figures and then 1 Morphex key. So you're telling us that 1 Dino Fury key takes up a bunch of plastic that you can't supply us the Chroma Fury saber? No, well, we're not buying that, Hasbro. But if you're not really happy with the look of the Dino Fury keys, I guess this is good for you because they are releasing these through another method, which is through the Zords, because the Zords are gonna be more deluxe looking because they're gonna have head rotation and such, and all you simply do is just you're gonna remove the back of the head, so then it can at least like the drawback is that the front's not going to be painted, but like you're gonna have like a better looking key to put in your Dino Fury Morpher, and it's technically the only way to have a physical looking or physical representation of the front. So I think that would be nice. But obviously I don't care for the Zords, so I'm content with the ones with the basic figures, and honestly it's just like you might as well just stick with these ones because, you know, these ones are $10. The Zords are going to be like $20 to like $30 each, most likely. But, like, also the thing, too, with this line is that I at least hope is more consistent than Beast Morphers because I assume because where I'm going to go with the Dino Fury keys is that, excuse me, they're not going to release as much figures because they have to tie it to a key. And just to spoil it to you, there's not a lot of sounds within the Dino Fury Morpher. There's only 7 in total. So there's not really a lot they can do. So we kind of we know half of Wave 2, which is Gold and Void Knight. Most likely Black and Green, or Green and Black, are going to be included. But with this, with these 5 keys, we have 5 out of the 7 sounds already. And so the likelihood of us getting a Wave 3, very unlikely, unless they start repurposing sounds. Because I should get into this quickly. Also, the sounds for these are specifically tied to later stuff, or like some of them are for later stuff, but they're mostly tied to the, like, I think they're called the, I don't remember what they're called. I don't want to say sprint or support keys, but it starts with an S. So the I want to say 4 out of the 7 keys are based off of those, because blue is based off, I'm just going to go off the resoldier terminology, so blue is based off the Nobi Soul, pink's based off of the Omo Soul, and Boomtower and most likely all the villains are based off of the Muki Muki Soul, and red is based off of the Maramara Soul, a Kyoryu Soul, because his is elemental based and such. So, I just find that to be interesting and such. But, gosh, why do you keep doing this to me? And then, obviously, the dinosaur one is the original one. But, so, it does kind of suck overall that, like, the Dino Fury Morpher doesn't have as much sounds. But then, as I said before, the Resoul Changer didn't really have a lot of sounds either. So it's just kind of like one-on-one, but I guess essentially because they are more difficult in tracking down, I guess these are like the best substitutes of figures of the Ruse soldiers, you can't track down Yudo. Like, actually, I should bring that out. Here's a comparison with Yudo. They're an inch taller. So, and we're most likely not going to get proper figures of these. So, Yudo's kind of your best chance. But for $10, they're fine. It sucks they don't come with the Chroma Fury sabers because he comes with 2 accessories. But like, just gotta wait for Wave 2. Like, there's just nothing else. Because the weird thing with this line too is that it's barely existent. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm here, but not at the same time. And like, we're gonna have to wait for Wave 2, most likely in like the summer or in the fall and such. So yeah, that's really it for this review. If it's long, I apologize. This is Power, and I'll leave you people. Bye.